Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on Broadway World over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. I am all ready for the holiday. I got my dog. I got my accoutrement around me. And that means that in the Broadway world, in the theater world, if it's almost the holidays, it means it's almost time for the annual gala of the 24-hour plays. I remember years ago when you guys did this in the middle out off of Times Square on Broadway. And some of the biggest stars in the world have shown up over the past 25 years, and they have an incredible lineup for this 25th annual gala. How do you get tickets? What is the process? Why are we doing this? What does this group do all year long? The artistic is it 24 people? I went on their website. And one of the most asked questions is the play 24 hours long? No, read the fine print, people. They're not going to make you sit there for 24 hours. Mark Armstrong, the artistic director, is here to tell us all about it. Mark, welcome to the show.
Robert, hi. Thanks so much for having me on. That was a terrific introduction on all the stuff that we do. Thank you so much.
And we will be talking for 24 hours, you and me.
Well, because the show only happens once, people love talking about whatever show they were involved in or shows they were involved in. People will run into each other and talk about specific moments of things that happened like 7 years ago or 20 years ago. I just saw Robin DeJesus, and he said he was on set with a bunch of people that had done the 24-hour plays when he got the email about being in our current show, which he can't do. But he said that got them all talking about all their memories of, oh, I did this and I met that person, and oh, remember when that happened. There is something about it that, even though it is just the one day, it's this concentrated period of time where you're together with people in such an intimate way that it tends to be something that people hold on to, even though the event itself is perishable. The relationships and the memories and the community that it generates are, I think, why it has been around and beloved for so long. Is people remember being together in that way, the same way that we hear a lot. Oh, it reminded me of when I started doing theater in high school. That feeling of it feels good to be with people in this way.
Yeah, and what's so amazing, there's no event like it where you're going to have a group of actors get together and they're going to put on a play in 24. I mean, Mark, you're not kidding. It is 24 hours.
No, absolutely. And sometimes people want to know if they can prepare for things, but it's like there really is there's no way to prepare. You are going to meet the people. No one knows which cast they're going to be in before. These are people who, in some cases, are, they have worked together and have known each other. Some of them are meeting each other for the first time. But everybody's in the same boat, that they don't know what play they're going to be in or what play they're going to write or what play they're going to direct. And they've got this period of time to figure it out, because we've already sold all the tickets.
That's it. The tickets will be well. They have 24-hour plays. They have 24-hour musicals. They have partners. You have now partners all around the world that do this event and have taken this event. Before we talk about this year in particular, what is the goal? What is the mission? The money that's raised, what you all do here. What is the point of the 24-hour whole experience?
Yeah, the 24-hour plays as an organization does exactly what the name says. We're a theater group that produces plays and musicals that are written and rehearsed and performed in 24 hours. And we do that here in New York. People know us for the Celebrity Gala, but we run education programs and partner shows year round that are based on that model of making theater. So we have been to Indiana for the International Thespian Festival this year. We work with Curious Theater in Denver, Savannah Performing Arts Alliance, B Street in Sacramento are some of our partners. And because we're the creators of the 24-hour plays concept and process, although we're a tiny organization, we have 30 years of best practices to draw from. So people will say, hey, we want to do this, but we have no idea how you do it. Can you come in and work with us? So we do this all year round, and this is a way to sort of celebrate and buoy the creation of these spontaneous creative communities that happen everywhere. We think that all communities are creative, and that coming together in a short period of time can elevate each other and elevate the experience and the artistry for people in a way where I like to think of the audience as a kind of co-conspirator because they know it's only going to happen once. They know what these actors have been through, and they're leaning forward saying, "What's going to happen? I have no idea what's going to happen, but whatever it is, I'm going to be the only person that sees it, or I'm going to be in the only group of people that sees it." And then, um, and usually, what they see is something that's amazing. I think sometimes people that may not have come to our show or may not be familiar with it think, oh, I bet what's fun and funny about it is it's sort of, I don't know, like a busted improv sketch or something where people can't remember their lines and it's chaotic. And well, it is true that occasionally something unexpected happens that reminds you, that there's maybe a little blood on the floor. 99.9% of the time, what happens is that you see creative people being amazing and you see them being together only in this way and doing something that only artists can do when they have a little bit of space and a little bit of time. And um, meals is the trick, hospitality, making sure that if you're going to ask someone to do that, you give them food, you make sure they drink water, they've got coffee, you have to have a party afterwards. You can't ask people to do that and then not have a party. So the reason that we have kept doing this is because the community, particularly here in New York City, also in Los Angeles, but also creative communities everywhere, have wanted us to keep doing it. The 24-hour plays were originally in 1995 designed as a one night thing. We're going to get together and we're going to do this thing and we're going to find a way that all of us who are working three jobs but want to bring the art that we feel inside ourselves into a community can have a place to do that. And the way that it was described to me, I'm a successor in leadership. I succeeded our founder, Tina Fallon. And the way it was described to me is that the artists and the people that participated kept asking when it was going to happen again. And it was like, no, no, that was just going to happen once. But it turned out that it was a good idea. It's the kind of good idea that's also kind of a crazy idea. And people liked being together in that way. So in 2001, when there became the idea that maybe celebrities and maybe people who are very well known will come and do this, that was an element that started off this annual tradition that we've kept up for 25 years, which is bringing together artists from theater, film, and TV. I always say theater, film, and TV, but truthfully, it's artists from music. Jonathan Colton was in this one. It's people from comedy. Catherine Cohen was in it last year. Jabuki, Young White is in it this year. So it's really brings in artists from other, other disciplines other than the theater as well. Because it turns out that everybody likes the feeling of being in a play.
Yes. And you get, I don't know how, listen, back in the day, people,
Hmm.
they had the biggest, like you still have the biggest,
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer Aniston to this year, like Ralph Macchio, and like you have superstars that come in and you
Hmm.
see them for a whole 24, and then you get to see them, everybody, do this show for less than the cost of a Broadway ticket. Tickets are less than $100. Mark's going to come back. We're going to force him to come back. Mark,
I am technical difficulties. I hit my mouse, and then all of a sudden it
the world closed on you, Mark.
well,
That's
I hit the mouse, and it went to one of my bookmarks, which was the federal student loan
oh,
aid page.
that's
So
the page.
that's a little tip and peek into sort of my home psyche. But yeah, people always ask us, you were in the middle of saying, everyone from Jennifer Aniston to Chris Rock this year, Ralph Macchio. I talked to him yesterday. I've been trying to get him, for so many years. He was someone that I grew up with, and I was like, Ralph, you're a bucket list person for me. Like, I'm so happy that you are coming to the show. But the reason is that they have a good time. They have a good time, and they get to be with other artists. Sometimes people will ask me, "Oh, what's it like working with all these celebrities?" Kind of maybe intimating that I have like some crazy stories. And I have to tell people, well, it's the same story over and over and over again. And it may seem kind of dull, but 99.9% of people are really cool.
Yeah.
And they want to come and be in a positive community with other people. They want to be treated like artists, you know. They oftentimes have a much broader artistic palette than they sort of are known for, like in the public imagination. If you're a celebrity, like you might be known for one thing, but you can do a bunch of things. In addition to being an actor and a writer and now an extraordinary filmmaker, Jesse Eisenberg writes music. Like he writes music and lyrics, and I actually had no idea until he called me and said, "Can I be in the 24-hour musicals?" And I said, "Oh, I know he likes to write, write scripts." I'm like, "You want to write one of the books?" And he said, "No, no, no. I want to compose all the music. Like I've written an entire musical. I write music and lyrics, and so that's a thing that I think is attractive to people is being able to sort of em- have the potential to embrace the sort of wide breadth of their artistry.
They get to stretch their wings and you get to see them on stage. What I was saying was that for less than a Broadway show ticket, you
Hmm.
can see, I mean, tickets start at $100, everybody. If
Hmm.
there are tickets that are going to be left when this is all said and done,
Uh-huh.
you can go see this incredible one of a kind night, and then you can move up and you can even get VIP tickets, go to the party afterwards. All you got to do is go to 24hourplays.org to find out all the information and buy your tickets. Before we get into the writers, just to continue talking about this cast that you're
Hmm.
going to have, you have some of the best of Broadway, you have
Hmm.
some of the best of film, more Brat Packers like Andrew McCarthy coming, like
Hmm.
Ralph Macchio. You have I saw Elaine Hendricks last night on Dancing with the Stars
She's
finale.
gonna win. She's gonna win Dancing in the Stars, and then after that, she's gonna be on our show.
Incredible, incredible. Her wicked dance. She flew like Elphaba in defying gravity. It was an iconic Dancing with the Stars moment. She's going to be there. An incredible list. Ruby Cruz and Abukar Ali, who's the next superstar everywhere. Ben Ehlers from The Gilded Age. Like you have an incredible list of people that are going to show up. Jen Tolik. So they all come in. Who writes these shows, Mark?
We have six writers, and they're fantastic. Gosh, I'm trying to figure out who to mention first. This year we have a bunch of new people. The stalwart is Jonathan Mark Sherman, friend of the room, and a beautiful, beautiful writer. And we have Natalie Margolin, who wrote All Nighter, who's coming in to work with us. Courtney Barron, the writer's writer. I always say she's the writer who other writers will lower their voice and say, "You know who's really good?" Um, Keith Bunin, who is coming to the show for the first time. I'm delighted. Sung No, who is a really, really terrific playwright from my generation. You've sort of kind of, put your finger on the 24-hour plays being kind of a Gen X thing. Um, we are a bunch of Gen Xers, which is, I think, why, having a sort of small little artistic concern that is friend focused has always felt right. And
Yes.
and Bess Calb, New Yorker, Jimmy Kimmel Live, very ubiquitous on the internet. I was introduced to her at a play. Rachel Sussman introduced me to her and said, "Oh, Mark, this is Bess Calb. I think she'd be great for the 24-hour play sometime." And and so, because I'm no dummy, I followed up.
Because you're no dummy. So the people that you get to write it and star in it, is it people that you know? Is it people that you're introduced to? Do you blind pitch people's teams and say, "Come on down," or how do you work your magic to get this lineup?
It's all of the above. I always tell people that my career started going significantly better when I became Mark from the 24-hour plays, because it turns out that having from the 24-hour plays as your last name is something that people associate with these good memories that they've had. So we have some people that have been longtime friends of the room, but then they all tell their friends. So then other people are like, "Oh, you know who wants to do it?" And someone will run into a friend of a friend and say, um, one of our longtime supporters, Ron Noy, emailed me. He knew Elaine Hendricks. He's a friend of the room and a longtime supporter, and he put me on an email chain with Elaine Hendricks and her team. And then we have a conventional way of emailing. We have good relationships with agencies, and I think that their clients always come back and tell them that they have a good time with the show. but not just that they have a good time at the show, that cross-pollinating in that way artistically can lead to other projects. Um, so people always ask, "Oh, do agents, ever give you a hard time about this?" And I say, "Well, only the smaller ones, frankly. Like the people who run, and work at, sort of larger, significant agencies and management corporations, they're always looking to get their clients into a new creative conversation. David, Lindsay Bear, and Rachel Dratch have famously formed a long friendship and working relationship through working with us. Chris Rock and Tracy Toms met and started talking about hair on the dinner break, and it turned into the documentary Good Hair. We got a really nice call from Tommy Kail a couple of years ago, who said, "Thank you guys for introducing me to Sam Rockwell. Fosse Verdon was about to come out," and he was like, "Sam and I met through the 24 Hour Plays. We didn't know that, but of course it makes sense because lots of people are meeting each other and encountering each other and staying in their lives. We've had two writers that did the writer overnight together who are now married, who met, in the wee hours of 2017." And they got married last year. So, and thousands of these stories that I don't know, people tell them to me, ones that are before my time, or they are so, because the event itself is so, I'm only one person on that day. Like, um, and so I don't even know the breadth of stories that are out there about the way that people have connected with each other and expanded their creativity and expanded their community. We are a theater organization that's also an arts service organization. We see ourselves as in service to the artistic community in the same way that a lot of the entities that have been around for many years. I came to New York to be in the Lincoln Center Directors Lab. I don't know if I would be here without that program. They sunsetted that program during COVID. Obviously, the LARC is not around anymore. Sundance Theater Lab. A lot of these programs are closing, and we see ourselves as being of service in that way to the artistic community. And we see what we do as contributing to the sort of vibrancy and dynamism of American entertainment in general. Josh Koenigsberg, a terrific writer, said, "Hey, when I got a TV job, someone said, 'Hey, it turned out that we need these two characters to be in this location and to have a scene together.'" And he said, "Oh, just like the 24-hour plays, like you told me the two actors and where they're going to be." And so he was like, "It set me up creatively to do that." And then we've had people, particularly who come through the 24-hour plays nationals, which I think is the thing that I'm the proudest of that we do, is every year we bring together a cohort of 40-ish early career artists, actors, directors, writers, producers. Over the last couple of years, we've added stage managers and designers to the cohort,
Wow.
and we form them into a community over a week. Or I should say, they form themselves into a community, and we are there to feed them. And also unlock some doors as far as master classes and panel discussions, and finally their own production of the 24-hour plays in an off-Broadway theater. So for a lot of these people, particularly who are starting their careers, it's an early production. um, Celine Song is a graduate of that program, and I remember seeing her short play when we did the nationals at the Atlantic. She and her husband Justin Koritsky's, who wrote Challengers, are early alumni of the nationals program. So seeing those people out there succeeding, and also just being in each other's lives together, not just working together creatively, but when you're a young person in the theater industry, you also need someone to sublet your apartment when you go out of town. You need someone to read stage directions that you're reading. You need someone to come to your reading. And so, so seeing people who were there for each other grow and flourish together is, the 24-hour plays is very Gene Debs. It's like, I would be ashamed to rise from the ranks. When I rise, it will be with the ranks. So you
Right.
see people forming communities and then elevating themselves personally and professionally together. And there just is, there's nothing like it. I feel really fortunate to be a person that gets to do that for other people.
There's nothing, literally there's no one who does it. And maybe people may want to try to imitate it, but they're not going to do it the way 24-hour plays does it. And it's the most unique, original experience. I love the cohort idea. I love the idea that people have networked and created projects. I love the idea that there's community and people have met each other that may have never met each other if it wasn't for this. And you can come get a ticket. Who knows who you'll meet? This is the first time, I believe, Mark, am I right?
Mhm.
That it's the first time that it's going to be in Brooklyn. It's going to be maybe. Am I?
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, this is the first time that we have done this event in Brooklyn. Which I live in Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklynite. I've been here for 20 years now.
Oh, before it's been cool. Mark's the real, you've been there before.
No, I actually feel like Brooklyn was already cool by the time that
Right.
I got here, but I know because I kept getting priced out of different neighborhoods. So like, yeah, I lived in the neighborhoods that were cool then, and now I live in different neighborhoods. But no, I'm really happy about it. I think that the Space on Iredale is a beautiful old venue. I saw this play there, this beautiful play by Bubba Weiler. A couple months ago. And
Yeah, we had him on to talk about it.
Bubba was on the show. I didn't listen to that one.
Yes, he was here.
Oh, I'm gonna go listen to that one right now. I loved that play and I loved the production. And then I walked out of there thinking, huh, you know what we've never done? Um, because despite the fact that our event is always the same, everything about it is different. Like the structure is always the same, but the things that happen are different. And this is a way of challenging ourselves to reinvent the event and do something in a different way. And I've just been heartened by how many people just always want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's like wherever it is, whenever it is, if they are free. To go back to your conversation about casting, this is this is about the time when in our cycle when actors are telling that their friends they're doing it. Julia Chan texted me and she was like, what about Ian Harding? Would you? And I was like, oh sure, okay. I thought that's ambitious. And then I got an email saying, hey, I'm a friend of Julia Chan's, and so it's a funny thing that I am so privileged to sort of get to be in these sort of, like I said, sometimes they're very formal. We reach out to the agencies, we have a list, we go through that process and we respect their protocols. But in terms of people reaching out to me, um, that's something that is really just a nice perk of the job is hearing from people that say, hey, all my friends have done this, all my friends have wanted to be a part of this. How can I apply for the nationals? How can I bring the 24-hour plays to my own community? That's something that we want to let people know that they can do. Our goal is to have partner productions in all 50 states. We just did South Dakota. One of our producers, Ian, went out there and had a great time in South Dakota. Um, and we have an annual show in Savannah, Georgia, like I said, in Sacramento. And so letting people know that wherever they live or wherever they are from, um, we want to go there and work with people. We've done a show with Bennington College alumni for many years, and this year we did it on the Bennington campus. And it was really meaningful to see all these people go back to where they've been to college. And these were theater people well into their careers having a chance to step on the stage of their college auditorium again, which how many of us would have a chance to do that, to sort of rewind in time? There are all these unique things that you get to see when people agree to do something that scares them a little bit. There's all those statistics about how people are more afraid of public speaking and being in front of people than they are of falling out of a plane or perhaps even dying. Um,
Yes.
that for the majority of people, and what these people do, what these artists do, particularly like what these actors do, get up there, with something that they've just gotten and they've just memorized. That is that to the nth degree, and but we see them be brave, and I think you know um, the more settled I get into my role here, that seeing other people be brave inspires us to be brave. And the times we live in require personal bravery.
True.
So that's another thing that I think that we try to put out into the world.
Yes, you can be there, witness this once in a one time only,
Hmm.
December 12th at 7 o'clock. The space. at Irondale, right there in Brooklyn. It's
Mhm.
the 25th annual gala. Get your ticket to be there. Get your ticket to join the after party. If you have a company and organization with a whole bunch of money, come on and sponsor this, because then
Yes.
kids around the country, and soon to be literally around the world, will be inspired and be able to do. And what you just said is so important: the fun of it, the celebrity of it, the hook of it as 24 hours. But in a world where we need to be authentic and be unafraid and be brave and get up and do scary things, that's what they're going to do on this night. And you could witness it, and you'll leave and feel inspired. Who knows who you'll meet? You never know who. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, the audience is so present there, and the space on Irondale, is really a small venue. I'm sure that, eventually we're
yeah.
gonna pack that venue to the rafters, but we will we will all be there together in the same way that we are all in the world together.
So get your tickets, everybody, 24hourplays.org. Tickets are on sale right this second. Treat yourself. Treat yourself this holiday season and go see this one time only event. Mark, I'm so excited. I learned so much because I remember being in 2000. I was just out of high school and college,
Mhm.
going and hearing about it and seeing one of them in New York City. And I took my cousin Adrian and was so in awe of what you all do. And to the fact that you're all here doing this 25 years later, bigger and better than ever, is such an inspiration to all of us in this community. You made it. You keep going.
Oh, thank you, Robert. That really is the joy, isn't it? That's the win of working in the theater, is we get to wake up and we get to do it again. And I try to be grateful for that. And these events with the 24-hour plays provide an opportunity for me to really feel that, that the community being together in that way is something that's special for people and something that people don't take for granted, and that
Yeah.
we've been held by the artistic community for so long. Um,
Well, I'll see you next year for the 26th annual.
Ah, yes, you will. And there's 364 days, in between now and then. So who knows, like, what we could get up to in the 24-hour plays space all year round.
My show is your show anytime. Thank you so much for spending some time with
All
us.
right.
Happy
Likewise.
holidays
Thank
and
you, Robert.
enjoy it. Congratulate, break legs.
Thank you. Pleasure.